Speed painting is a type of painting that makes you go real fast, but the faster you go, the more you are apt to make the correct decisions on value and shape. And here's where I'm doing with a neutral tint, and what I'm doing is painting within this, about as fast as I can paint with the photograph that you just saw. And I'm using neutral tint, and I'm laying the brush on its side and just sort of moving it around for where the shadows are and where the highlights are in the flower. Sometimes it's just very good to use a timer. Put a timer on and then set it for 5 minutes or 8 minutes or 10, but don't go any further than that, and then start putting your values in. If you work from light to middle values, and also from on dry paper to wet surfaces as you apply your colors. And this is where I'm going to put in a background now, just to see where the edges of the flower is on top. That can be that can be darker later on. And with another value, I'm squinting at the photograph and looking to see exactly where the darker shapes are. Now they're larger shapes first, and then it becomes smaller in shapes as we go through it. So right now it's basically wet into wet, and if you're doing this in color, you would put different colors within that particular value. But in this case, we're only looking for the light, middle, and dark values. And now I'm giving a little texture to see where the shadows are within the highlights, and it gives it sort of a abstract quality. They're only strokes. All of this is meant to be just strokes, not painting things, painting shapes, painting large areas, and using the freedom of the brush. You can see how far back I'm holding my brush so that I can get more freedom. I'm also standing and not sitting, and so my movement of my arm is free. And as I look at this, I'm still contemplating where it is the darkest dark, and I see that's in the leaves. And then I get up into the flower itself, and that first value I put in, you can see, is a dark value, but when I put a dark next to it, that value becomes lighter. And so we got kind of a cast shadow coming, except that it's only used for just the different values that I put together. And now I'm putting in a little darker value as I proceed, and take out some of the highlights to reshape the highlight areas. I always refer to this as sort of like I'm using one stroke over another, and each stroke makes it a different shape. Not doing the entire shape, but using strokes to develop that entire shape. Now I felt that I needed a little bit more value coming right up there. Now at this point in the game, I think that flower is done. That should really have been stopped right at this point and not added everything else that I've been adding on to it. This is why you do a thumbnail sketch that takes very little time, but as you do it, you can see that, oh, well, I should have stopped there. Well, now I know I can stop there, so when I do the actual painting, I will do that. Now I'm adding just little strokes of darks and lights here and there, looking inside this big shadow area of the flower, and determining where would I want to put inside that big area. And I don't like to do too much thinking. Thinking, I think, gets us into trouble. So what I would like to do is just go ahead and use the time and paint quickly. Basically, I'm taking too much time right now. I should have had a shorter time, because when you have all the time in the world, then you slow down. And when you don't have all the time in the world, you really speed it up. And so I advise you to try this method, speed painting. We also call it shorthand painting, because in that particular case, we're using symbols to indicate different things, and that's what the shorthand secretary would do with taking notes for later transcription. Okay, there we go. Just a few little dabs and texture quality to it, and you can see you can build this up. I liked the other before, but it wasn't built up as much. But it all depends upon you, how far you want to carry this approach for your painting that you want to do. I've carried it just a little bit too far right now, and so I'm going to just keep going until I'm done. And getting some other darks inside the leaf as it comes up. Now you can see how fast that was developed. Within a few minutes, you already have a really nice looking painting instead of hours of working on it. And then you end up with nothing anyway, so why not just go ahead and do it like this, because you get a lot better results. Okay, so I'm still analyzing where I should go with each one of these flowers, and if you notice, the flowers melt into each other. So we have 3 large or 4 large hydrangeas in there. And I don't think they're hydrangeas, whatever flower that is. And so we're going to look for a little detail within inside of that shape there, and it only takes just a few marks to give it some interesting pattern. So if you try this method, you should set up a timer, set it for 10 minutes, 5 minutes, whatever, and then see what you can accomplish within that particular time period. You will be surprised how well you do and how loose your paintings will become. Now I'm going to put that background just a little darker on one side so it's not the same on each side, and also bringing in some of the darker values in the background that the flowers have. I think adds to it, and then also a tabletop, the edge of it where the flowers are sitting on. Well, thank you for looking at this video.